Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
It's Waffle Box time.
I don't even know what that means.
No one knows what it means, but it's provocative.
No, it's not. It
Gets the people going.
You know what old Jack Burton always says at a time like this?
My crotch is itchy.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
What would you do if you had $1 million?
2 chicks at the same time, man.
Just thank the Lord she didn't live to see her son as a mermaid.
You killed a hooker!
Call girl!
No,
she was
Cyril, when they're dead, they're just hookers.
This time we are sure she's a woman, right?
Why do you want to listen to the TV with the stereo on?
Because I like to party.
Let's do this!
Welcome to Waffle Box, the podcast where we talk about anything, everything, and nothing, all at the same time. Coming up on episode 11, we have Disney being sued by Scarlett Johansson, the end of the road for young Arthur, and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson takes on a jungle cruise, and so much more. I am Mike Fish, and I am joined, as always, by Kush Hayes. Kush, you okay, mate? You all right?
The Honorable Kush Hayes here, and I'm doing fantastic, brother. How are you doing tonight?
Wonderful. That was a beautiful reveal there for our visual watchers.
Well, it's a visual medium, you know, so we got to make things, you know, make it a spectacle. So
that's a nice little jacket you got on there. It's like, for those listening, it's like a blue hoodie, zip hoodie with, looks like maybe it's like pop art or something in the innards.
I did a job for Bloomberg TV one day, and they sent us out to this place called Loudmouth Golf. This was like over 5 years ago, and just covering this dude who just started making golf apparel, and I was wearing a pretty ratty jacket, or just a thin hoodie, you know, man, just to keep my arms warm. It's not anything special. It's literally for getting dirty on jobs like this. And he was like, "Yeah, man, I gotta put you in one of my jackets," and he gave me this double ensemble, so it's reversible. So yeah, I want to say I was wearing this our 4th of July episode, but that was many rums ago.
If you reversed it, you could definitely rock that as an American jacket.
Mm-hmm. And have several occasions, but not too many. But thought tonight's edition of the Waffle Box would be nice to mix the dark blue with the purple. I'm doing my Grand Theft Auto San Andreas Ballers cosplay tonight. And should be a good time.
Where is that happening? Is that like offline?
Right here on the Waffle Box.
Oh,
nope, you're in the middle of it, Blair.
Oh, okay. I am also simply talking about what we're wearing. I'm wearing this special Benihana inspired, not stolen, inspired t-shirt for Ben Rama, West Ham United player. Celebrate the return next week. For those who do want to listen to very obscure niche sports talk, the return of Claret and Big Blue podcast next Tuesday, the 10th of August, live at 6 p.m.
snap.
Eastern.
That's what's up.
We've got some football coming back. I'm excited.
Yeah, and I know your fans are super excited about that. I mean, you guys have to talk about football 24/7. You can't just take breaks in the middle like you guys did. I mean, it's part of the sport. I get it. But, yeah. Claret and Big Blue forever, baby.
Yeah. Before we dive in with the meat and potatoes of tonight's show, what have you got coming up on your 16 podcasts that you do a week?
Oh my goodness! So no Kush and Kai this month.
What?
Life gets in the way. It's for a good cause. More Kush and Kai to come, but nothing in August, guys. It'll be fine. Not sure if we have something in September, but we'll let you know. This Friday, August 6th, it's the 22nd anniversary of my 21st birthday. Of Kush Hayes' 21st birthday, and I'm getting together with the Barely Functional Gamers, getting together with the Overlook Hour podcast, and on twitch.tv/Barely Functional Gamers, we're going to be celebrating the 22nd anniversary of Kush Hayes' 21st birthday.
The invite must have
it's a lot on the t-shirt, but you know, you pay by the letter, so I'm just like, splurge, fuck it.
Was I not invited to this birthday party?
Well, I mean, how fast can you get out here? Otherwise, join us on Twitch TV, my man.
I'll be watching. Was it Friday night?
7:30 p.m. Friday night. 10:30 your time. 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
I'll be there with bells on and probably already drunk. but I'll be there.
There you go. There you go. Now you'll fit right on in. And then we'll just cap it here. August 14th, that's next week, next Saturday, the Iron Dragon TV Action Fest is having their film festival online. You can get more information at idtvactionfest.com, where the Honorable Judge Kush Hayes will be presiding over this year's winners.
Did that gavel come in from Amazon yet?
Not yet. No. I wouldn't hold my breath on a gavel, but we'll make it work. We always do. Don't worry.
I know I've been saying it for 3 weeks now, but you should totally get a gavel.
Little Sister Hayes will be thrilled to hear that, and will probably just get me a gavel anyways.
Get on it. Get on it. Speaking of movies, obviously these aren't kung fu flicks, but there seems to be some fighting involved. Yeah, that's my little segue. Obviously, in the last couple of weeks, we've been talking about the Black Widow movie with Scarlett Johansson. Turns out all is not well within the Marvel universe. Or maybe the Marvel universe is fine, but Disney, ever since Mickey Mouse took over, it's, as we would say in the UK, it's a Mickey Mouse operation over there. Literally.
Yeah, they say that over here too.
Okay, whatever. You probably stole it, like everything else. If you want independence, to give our sayings back. Scarlett Johansson.
By the way, I love the way you say your name. Everyone else here calls it Scarlett Johansson, and you call it Johansson. I like it.
Unless I'm wrong, is that not a Scandinavian name?
Well, I mean, it's probably in Scandinavia, but that chick's from, she's from like the Valley. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Just with her then, Scarlett Johansson is suing Disney. So I'm sure everyone's been talking about this, but what's pretty cool is that since the story broke originally, we get the inside scoops. We're now able to follow the story along because there's been so many more developments going on. So unless you didn't know this, so Scarlett Johansson sued Disney because apparently in her contract, they said that they were going to release Black Widow in the theaters only at first before releasing it on Disney Plus, because her contract said that she would get a cut of the theater tickets. And then Disney decided, screw it, we'll just put it on Disney Plus Premier Access as well. And so obviously she's very upset because they've made a lot of money on that movie and she does not get a cent of Disney Plus purchases. Firstly, before we get into what Disney have said back, what was your instant reaction to this story?
Well, Mike, as someone like everyone else, I've been watching the Marvel Cinematic Universe for 11 years now, so I'm versed in 11 years of contract law. However, where I have a one up on everyone else is I've also watched WWE programming, so that means I am an extra 12 years going back to the Attitude Era. Okay, I'm sorry, not the Attitude Era. It was the Ruthless Aggression Era. However, I have that many more years of contract law under my body, and I say good for you, Scarlett Johansson. They promised you one thing, and they delivered another thing. And yes, the Delta variant and the regular variants of the COVID definitely put a wrinkle in everything. But what she was promised it's a very lopsided figure. So she's definitely owed some money. I understand she still got a royalty for the Premier Access, but it's just like, it's changing the car seat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, you just alluded to it. So Disney's reaction was that they were, what's the answer? This is the actual wording of it. So Disney, in retaliation to this lawsuit, said that there is no merit whatsoever to this filing. The lawsuit is especially sad and distressing in its callous disregard for the horrific and prolonged global effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. So one, I never saw or heard Scarlett Johansson mention COVID-19 or anything like that. But
why should she?
But I don't know where the connection is. It just seems like Disney lawyers have just thrown in everyone cares about COVID. Let's put that in there to put it on our side. Because
they know they're doing wrong, but they never made it right. So this has also been an ongoing thing with the folks at AT&T Warner Brothers, where they decided they're going to release their entire calendar schedule on their app the same day that they release things in theaters. Many lawsuits have actually sprung out of that. And where HBO would go right, where they would offer like Wonder Woman an extra couple million, they didn't do that for everybody else, and that's where the lawsuits are coming in here. And Disney, quote unquote, tried to do the same thing, but it just wasn't enough. And Scarlett Johansson is due her money. Will she ever work in the Marvel Cinematic Universe again? Never say never. But
she's dead, so spoiler alert.
She's already dead, but they can always do the prequels, and they can always do a flashback. Someone's a hologram now. Stupid shit like that. They can always get Scarlett Johansson back if they wanted. However, it will never go to court. It's going to be settled out, and Scarlett Johansson will probably get 2/3 of what she's actually owed.
Right. So, but what annoyed me is that the fact that they mentioned the COVID-19 pandemic. Yes, of course, that means a lot of people. One, movie theaters will shut down. Two, a lot more people who would normally go to the theaters to watch this still don't necessarily feel comfortable enough to go to the theaters and things like that. So obviously that's going to impact their money in that sense. But if they're so worried about it, then what they should have said is, hey, Scarlett, so you know your contract for the movie theater ticket. So actually, because we think we can make more money if we release it on Disney Plus at the same time, we're going to roll over your contract to include that as well. That would be the right thing to do. If they're being all righteous and, oh my God, why does she care about the pandemic? Like, if they were being nice people, then that's, but obviously they're not nice people. Obviously, that. I'm not sure. But you know what I mean? That would have been the right thing
if the Disney lawyers thought under any circumstances, under any of Doctor Strange's 14,605 possible outcomes, that they were going to make more money doing that $30 a viewing gimmick, they are dead ass wrong, and Disney needs to get a new set of lawyers. The whole thing about the premiere access was these projects just can't sit on the shelf anymore. Mulan was actually supposed to come out 2 years ago, and that was before a pandemic started.
Ghostbusters was supposed to come out last year.
Ghostbusters is still coming out, and that's a different studio and a whole different thing.
What I'm just saying that was also impacted.
For sure. Everything was impacted. But you can't let these things sit on the shelf forever, and eventually they do have to come out. So that was Disney's logic, like, hey, maybe the theaters won't even be open, but people finally need to see this, and we need to get all the other Disney properties moving. In theory, everything is like backed up because of this, but it doesn't have to be. And they just wanted to get it done with. They just wanted to get it out there. They were tired of pushing the date back, and finally, this is collateral damage, for lack of a better word. They just needed to get it out there, and they didn't do necessarily the right thing.
Also, that was a shitty little thing. I think they put a dick move in their statement. They happened to mention.
Yeah, it was not a very well written statement.
That she earned. Where is it? Blah blah blah.
$20 million.
Disney has fully complied with Miss Johansson's contract, and furthermore, the release of Black Widow on Disney Plus with Premier Access, blah blah blah, has significantly enhanced her ability to earn additional compensation on top of the $20 million she has received to date. Well, no matter how much money someone earns, that's a dick move, putting out their business like that. That's pretty. That's if
again, they might need a whole new law team.
Yeah, if this was to go to court, which I'm assuming it won't, it will sell. But if it did, I'm pretty sure that just that one comment alone is going to bite them in the ass, because I'm pretty sure there's some information in contracts where you're not really supposed to divulge what people are earning. I'm seeing a lot of J-Browns on the Twitters and the Facebooks going, oh no, I have to just settle my $20 million. Look, if someone owed you $50 million and they only paid you $20 million, you still might be a little miffed about that. Yeah. I put out a tweet in response to someone, and I think some people misconstrued it because I wasn't defending Disney, but what I said is because I saw some people going, "Oh, poor her," like she's only making $20 million instead of blah blah blah. I was like, I can get they're wrong, but I can understand people having less sympathy for the super rich. I get it, but but no matter, like I say, no matter if it's $1, $100, or $20 million, if you're owed money through a contract, that's your money. They're fucking you up. I don't care. So she should get her money. I'm sure she will, and I'm sure maybe eventually we'll see her back. I'm sure it will get sorted out in the end. But I did like how Disney tried to act as if, yeah, sure, we screwed out of some of the money, but thanks to us, she can earn more money elsewhere. So, yeah, she can, but you still owe her money. Stop being dicks. Disney.
She'll get her cash. Sure, she'll get most of her cash. So.
Hey, Disney, baby, I got your money. Don't you worry, Disney.
I like it.
Doesn't quite
it's clever, Mike.
It's not, because that makes it sound like the money's going to. Anyway, whatever. So that relationship may be coming to an end. Another relationship is coming to an end. Is Arthur the Aardvark. His relationship with PBS is coming to an end of 25 long years. Now, we discussed off air that maybe Arthur the Aardvark, because obviously, as we discussed earlier, you're celebrating your 28th. Did you say 28th anniversary of your 21st birthday?
22nd anniversary.
22nd. Oh, Jesus Christ! So you're not. Yeah, sorry.
So just to put a time cap on this, when Arthur began 25 years ago, I was 18.
Oh, so I'm pretty sure
I was wildly out of the demographic.
Yeah, you probably wasn't watching too much children's TV shows on PBS while you was 18, but you are familiar enough with it to know that he was an animal. So I know you refer to him as a squirrel.
I know him in meme form. I know he was a show. I did not know that he was still on. I figured they were just showing reruns. I understand there was a controversial wedding a couple of years ago.
Yes. So
even then, I thought that was like, oh, that's just some made-for-Netflix special that they did because of COVID or whatever.
So one thing I didn't know is Arthur was the longest running children's animated television series in US history.
Okay.
Which is pretty impressive. But yes, so Arthur was credited for talking about subjects or bringing to public stories. I love the way they mention this is like cancer, dyslexia, same-sex marriage, and asthma.
Asthma.
I didn't know that was like a
was a very special
topic
episode.
on the same level as or whatever. Sure. But yes, so in 2019, Arthur did a show about the wedding between Arthur's teacher, Mr. Ratburn, who shockingly enough was a rat. Not gonna and
symbolism.
I know. And his partner Patrick, it drew a lot of praise online, as you can imagine. You know, kids' TV show, introducing the idea of, hey, same-sex marriage is normal. It's fine. It's okay for dudes to marry dudes and women to marry women. It's fine. But you'll be shocked, Kush. Right? I'm glad you're sitting down for this. It was boycotted by Alabama public television.
Okay.
Would have thought
only Alabama though.
Only Alabama. Only
Alabama. That's pretty good.
Yeah, 1 out of 50 ain't bad, I guess.
Yeah.
We're on him.
Well, and how many foreign countries was it banned in? Like, that's the details they're not telling you.
It's cover up.
It's a conspiracy, Mike.
Conspiracy.
It's a conspiracy for anti-American propaganda. They hated Arthur's same-sex marriage in other countries.
Or as Matt Damon.
In China, it's just a poker game.
Or as Matt Damon would call it, the F word.
The F word.
Did you see that? He got into trouble about that as well.
I heard about that. Yeah.
What an idiot.
Oh, well.
What an idiot.
People like to make him a target. I'm not getting into it.
I mean, I don't think he deserved as much backlash as he got from that, but still, I'm like, Matt, what are you doing? Shut up. Just stop talking. Come on. Like, so at some point,
I have to talk.
Some point in your head, just have that thought of like, if I say this out loud, will this be okay? Like, it wasn't even prompted. He just said, yeah, I used to use the F word. But then my daughter, my child, told me why I shouldn't. And I changed. Mm-hmm. Like, what did he expect? What did he expect? The whole world to be like, good on you, Matt. What a guy.
Yeah, kind of. That's probably what he thought was going to happen. You're like, all right, look at that. Matt Damon's changing for the better. All right. The little boy from Boston can do good. And instead of like, we don't like that you've changed. We don't like that you were a thing and now that you're trying to change.
I just like the comparison. Like, I just love the fact that he was like, I went on TV and said up until a couple of months ago, I used to call black people the N-word, but I don't anymore. Well, it did not go as expected.
That's a whole Liam Neeson thing. Not necessarily the same thing, but yeah. Like Liam Neeson was all like, yeah, I almost did this one horrible thing, and then I thought about it and didn't do it. And everyone was like, but you still thought about it, motherfucker.
So yeah. So so Matt, good on, like, hey, if you used to use homophobic slurs and you don't anymore, good for you, but don't expect the whole world to pat you on the back. It's not going to happen.
I agree with that.
Just live your life, my friend.
I agree with it. Yeah. Don't look for praise for taking out the trash, son. You're supposed to do that. You're supposed to wash the windows. Supposed to help your mother with the groceries. All that shit.
What was that? Was it that Chris Rock bit where he was talking about men who looking for praise? It's like, hey, I take care of my kids.
No.
Like, you're supposed to do that. What do you want, a cookie?
Yes. That's it. That is that bit.
People want praise for doing the shit they're supposed to do. Damn it. So yeah, Arthur. Emmy award-winning cartoon, 25 years. God bless you. You'll be missed.
If it makes you feel better, they'll reboot it in 5.
Yeah, probably. Talking about kids' TV. I mean, again, this is before your time, I guess. But you see, Rugrats. You know Rugrats.
I know of Rugrats. I know Rugrats. I was like 14 when Rugrats became a thing.
Did you say that they brought that back for Paramount Plus?
Okay. Oh yeah, they're like all adults now, right? And they have their own kids.
No. They're all kids. They're all kids. Same characters, same voice actors. It's just they've changed the animation style, which I'm not a big fan of. But then again, I'm 36. I don't think I'm not 36 yet. 36 soon. 35, I guess. And I'm not really the target demographic for a Rugrats anymore. But
you shouldn't be, at least. Unless you're the missus have a kid that you haven't told us about, you should not be watching Rugrats. Sorry.
Well, talking about rebooted cartoon, even though this is brought back about a year ago now. Animaniacs. Did you ever watch Animaniacs?
I did. Yeah, Animaniacs was hilarious. I tried to watch the reboot when it came back to Hulu, and I think I got through like maybe an episode and a half, and I think I'm just aged out now. I didn't care. I was just like, yeah, probably be watching something else now.
I made it about 3 or 4 episodes in while I was supposed to be working. I had that in the background. That was good. Good stuff.
I think it delivered exactly what it promised, and I just don't think I care anymore.
Yeah, I think a lot of people forget that kind of thing when that kind of thing happens. When something from, say, 15 years ago gets brought back today, you think it should be as enjoyable as it was back then, forgetting the fact that you are now 15 years older. And so no, the show's just as good or just the same, but you're now different.
You've changed.
You've changed. It's not them, it's you, man.
Yeah, I forget when that happened to me, but I was like in my late 20s when I finally was like, oh yeah, this isn't for me anymore. This doesn't hit the same way anymore.
Right spots.
Was Doogie Howser MD ever a thing for you? Do you know what that is?
I know of it, but I don't think I ever used to. That was is that the guy who's in How I Met Your Parents?
Yes, it's Neil Patrick Harris, NPH. You know, he was a child actor, and he played this 14-year-old genius doctor, and then of course, as the seasons went on, he aged with the character. So yeah, he's still having all these teenage problems, but then he's like doing open heart surgery and shit. And he's like, look at me, I'm just a kid. Well, Anyway, long story short is they've Disney Plus, I guess, owns the rights to Doogie Howser, and they're rebooting it. But it's not going to be Doogie Howser. Now, Mike, you might be guessing it's going to be a lady, and you would be correct. But Doogie Kamea Aloha, MD. That's right, my man. She's Doogie is now going to be Polynesian, a Polynesian girl.
Interesting.
I'm sure it'll be a great episode for its age demographic, but it's just like, oh wow. So in the original NPH series, Doogie was short for Douglas because, babies still can't say their own fucking names, no matter how much of a genius he is. It's like, oh, look at that. Our son's talking at one, but he's still mispronouncing shit. Oh wow. That's how you got that nickname. So I'm really wondering where Doogie comes from on this one.
Maybe I'm just old-fashioned, but I'm bored of all of these. Wait, what?
Conservative Mike.
Shit, this is where the Republican in me comes out. No, I'm just bored of these reboots where someone is obviously paid a lot of money to come up with an idea for a TV show or a movie, and they're like, well, let's just take this old one and swap the genders around. Like Ghostbusters, all women, or it's just there was I don't know if it's still happening, but do you remember the movie She's the Man?
Yes. Yeah.
Apparently they was making the one where it's like he's the woman or something like that. It's basically gender. It's like, just come up with the new shit. I've already seen the movie. I don't want to see it again.
Yeah.
Like,
it's not for, and this is where we come to the phrase, it's not for you anymore, Mike. And he's the man or she's the man or whatever that was even 40 years ago. Like, it's not for us today either. Like, that movie is probably awful in its 80s iteration. I know, I want to say ABC, it might have been CBS, but I think it was ABC tried to reboot Doogie Howser, but under a completely different name. Like, they just took the same concept. They went, all right, instead of a genius, wait for it, autistic. So you're
the Good Doctor.
Okay, yeah, you know it then.
Yeah, I didn't like it, but
it's a ridiculous premise. You're autistic, 14-year-old doctor. It doesn't. I clearly don't understand what autism is, but I don't think Hollywood does either.
Next one. He is a genius surgeon, but he's also blind. Tune into Blind Doctor.
Ooh,
this Friday on ABC. Dude, up the Doogie has there. I've got heart surgery, but my curfew's at 10. So he has to rush to get it done. That was an episode, was it? That was a big problem.
That was totally an episode. He had to take a chick to prom, but then someone's appendix exploded. The traditional he's going to lose his virginity episode. Smoking, I think, came up once or twice, and then of course someone who only smoked for like 2 weeks ended up with, stage 4 lung cancer. Like, you've got the black lung, Michael. What? What?
One pack of cigarettes is as much as a month down the coal mine. You should know that.
There's a Family Matters episode, Urkel, where at first it looks like they're going the stereotypical, like, the boys are experimenting with cigarettes. No, they're experimenting with chewing tobacco. And so these kids who ended up, again, 2 weeks, a month, 3 months tops. These are kids. They literally just got their hands on this shit. Well, one of them came down with lip cancer, Mike.
That's the devil's gum.
Ooh. Did you come up with that yourself?
Just now, just off the top of my head.
That's amazing. You should trademark that.
The devil's gum. Or that'd be a good brand name.
Again, you should trademark that. Fuck it, someone will chew it.
Check out office.
That's your slogan too. Fuck it, someone will chew it.
Anyway, that's a good segue. Speaking of, so new segment. I thought about this segment literally about 2 hours ago. just simply because, and I'm sure there's many, many more examples of this. So I don't know what we're actually going to call this segment. So suggestions, hit us up on social media at WaffleboxPod on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Suggest the name for this segment where I'm basically going to read the lyrics of a popular song, and I'm going to basically talk about how bullshit they are in one way or another.
Now, we're not actually playing the song, are we?
No. Jesus, we'd have our video stripped from YouTube before you could blink.
I mean, they might just pause those or mute the segment or even demonetize the video, but it wouldn't go down that quickly.
It's not like we're making money from this anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Not yet.
Not yet.
But with your help, just put this on loop while you're sleeping, okay? It'll be fine. Well,
yeah, if you could listen to the show 8 times every night, you'd be very appreciated, dear listeners.
Be your best friend.
Yeah. So this week's episode of Song Deconstruction, I'm going to come up with a way better, interesting name than that. It's I think it's an 80s song called Jessie's Girl by Rick Springfield. Now,
no relation to. Never mind. I almost said Springsteen, but never mind.
You could have went with no relation to Jebediah Springfield.
There'd definitely be no relation to Jebediah Springfield,
founder of Springfield Unknown from The Simpsons. So, Jessie's Girl is basically a song. If you haven't heard it, listen to it. I'm sure everyone's heard it at some point, you know, because it's got the hook. I wish I had Jessie's Girl. Jessie's Girl. Right? Where can I find a woman like that? So basically, Rick is swooning over this girl. So you think, oh, is this your typical love song? Oh, he loves this girl. So, but no. So I'm now going to show the world why Rick Springfield is a douchebag. Terrible.
Just to be fair, Rick Springfield is like supposed to be 17 in this song, maybe a little younger, but he doesn't actually have any like life experience or common sense. We'll get to one part in the lyrics, and that should become very evident.
I'm about to take him to school.
Break it down, Mike.
So the song opens up with the lyrics. So Jessie is a friend. First line, very important. Jessie is a friend. Yeah, I know. He's been a good friend of mine. Also important. So Jessie is Rick's friend. A good friend. Good friend. But lately something's changed. And it ain't hard to define. Jessie's got himself a girl. And I want to make her mine. Okay. So controversial already. So I guess 17-year-old Rick Springfield is kind of, you know, bros before hoes kind of guy. You know, oh, my friend's
He's
changed.
supposed to be. He's challenged. It's being challenged. He doesn't get out much. He's the girls he meets, he doesn't really think about. But then he meets Jessie's girl, and he's like, wow, where'd you meet her? Where can I meet her? Like, what?
Where can I steal her? So
all's fair in love and war.
So obviously his friendship with Jessie has changed since he hooked up with this girl, and Rick is mad or upset. So his thoughts are not to just break him up, but I want to have her. So the next part of the song is like, she's watching him with those eyes. She's loving him with that body. I just know it. So he's sitting at home. Like, I bet they're fucking right now. He's mad.
She's pleasing him with her body. And that's where, like, you know, who talks like that? No one talks like that. You know what I mean, this is clearly a kid who doesn't know how to talk to women. He doesn't, you know, he probably doesn't meet any chicks. And then finally, like, his friend brings home like this super dope ass chick. And he's like, oh man, Totally unexpected bro crush. It happens.
Oh yeah.
It's sad, but it happens.
You know that girl I met last night? Yeah, I took her home and give her a proper good loving with my body. No one talks like that.
But we needed subtext back in the 80s, Mike. Nowadays we can talk about wet ass pussy and all of. In the days we needed subtext.
Yeah.
We needed subtext.
What part of your body did you
Give her the elbow.
With her elbow.
Give her the elbow job.
So, and then he continues on. So we need to learn more about this. So obviously he wished he had Jesse's girl. I wish I had Jesse's girl. Blah, blah, blah. So then next, I'll play along with the charade. That doesn't mean, or doesn't seem to be a reason to change. You know, I feel so dirty when they start talking cute. I want to tell her that I love her, but the point is probably mute. That was definitely just thrown in there because it rhymed with cute, because that was weird. So he's still hanging out with them and listening, like he's third wheeling it, I guess, listening to them talking about each other. Adorable, I guess.
I love you, Pookie. Oh, sweetheart.
Oh, Jessie. Oh, Jessie.
Oh, bae. I love you, bae.
And then he repeats about the loving, blah, blah, blah. Then, it gets a bit creepy towards the end, where he's like, I'm looking in the mirror all the time, wondering what she don't see in me. I've been funny. I've been cool with the lines. Ain't that what love's supposed to be? So obviously he's trying to he's trying to use the lines on Jesse's girl and the old jokes. Not working. It's not working.
Can rearrange the alphabet. I put you and I together. If I said you had a nice body, would you hold it against me? What?
It's also funny. So say, did it hurt when you fell from heaven? Englishman, Irishman, Scotsman went into a bar one day.
Excuse me, Jesse's girl. Are those space pants? Because that ass is out of this world. What?
So
he doesn't know how to talk to you.
Horrible. Yeah, but he doesn't know how to speak to women. Obviously, so at no point in this. So you thought that if we're trying to relate to Rick in this story, at no point is Jesse, abusive. He's not cheating on her. He's not mean to her. Everything seems to be going well in their relationship. And even Jesse's a good friend of his. Dude. Yeah, Jesse's a nice guy. I want to hang out with Jesse. Just Rick's just, no, fuck it. I want his girlfriend. Like, what? And also, if you notice, at no point do we find out Jesse's girl's name. He just refers to her as Jesse's girl, objectifying the woman.
She's just an object.
She's not possession, Rick.
She's an obstacle. Their relationship is an obstacle for Rick. I mean, to be fair, again, to play devil's advocate, this is him fighting his urges. He knows that he's wrong. Mike, he knows he's wrong. Okay? Does he? That's why he's putting his feelings in this song. Okay, he's just like, I know I shouldn't do it. I hate the way they talk about each other. Like, this is your typical incel rage going on here. He doesn't want to ruin his friendship. He doesn't want to be a divide in there, but he is longing for companionship with a chick equally, if not more cool than Jesse's girl.
No, he wants Jesse's girl. He wants her.
Sure. I bet if he found someone equally as cool, he would forget all about her.
Maybe.
He just needs to get out there, man. Just, get a little confidence. Learn to take a rejection, Rick. Learn to take a rejection. Each one makes you a little stronger, buddy. Take it from my advice.
One thing that's missing from this, which is an obvious question I was going to ask, if you're so into Jesse's girl, at no point does he's like, I wonder if she has a sister. Like, that'd be the easiest to ask that. Who knows? Jesse's girl might have a sister. And boom, everyone's happy.
Lawyered.
You missed that one.
The Honorable Kush Hayes will allow it.
Gabble. So yeah, that's the end of Jesse's Girl by Rick Springfield. What a douche. What a douche.
He's misguided. Again, he needs some life experience. Hopefully he doesn't need to learn the hard way, but probably did.
So if
probably
you
not friends anymore. That chick probably doesn't talk to either of them anymore.
She's probably married with someone else.
Sure.
And Rick and Jessie are still like sitting in their own apartment together. Like, you
she went off to college. She had a whole other life. She fell in love with a guy in the law library. They got married. 2.5 kids. White picket fence.
Jessie was probably sitting there like, I'm not gonna be. To be honest, Rick, you made it weird when you wrote that song about me and my girlfriend. That was weird. You made it uncomfortable. But
I don't know if we can hang out, bro. I gotta peace out.
Do you want to watch the McGregor fight? All right. We'll watch that. You're paying though, dick. So yeah, if you have a name for that little segment, or if you want to suggest a song for us to break down on the next week's episode, at Wafflebox Pod on social media, send him along. I look forward to it. It's fun.
I got to admit, for a fraction of a fraction and a half, I mistook Jessie's girl for 8675309 Jenny. But I think Jessie's girl is something that high school girls who crave attention. That I think this is their song. I think that's the thing that they enjoy. I don't think many guys in the 80s were listening to this song, and I'm pretty sure guys in the 21st century aren't listening to this song either. This is like right up there with ABBA, where it's kind of burned into the female DNA strand. Like you gotta listen to ABBA, you gotta listen to Jessie's Girl, you gotta listen to some Cher. That's that tier.
What about Bryan Adams? Bryan Adams, staple of the 80s.
So that's more of a Canadian thing.
Oh, maybe.
More of a Canadian thing.
But
Canadian and lame chicks. Very quiet storm audience.
As soon as I hear those opening little riffs to "Run to You" by Bryan Adams, 80s into my head. It's great.
Okay.
Great. One thing I do get mixed up with though is when I was trying to sing it to myself earlier, I kept for some reason getting Jessie's Girl mixed up with Stacy's mum.
Oh, Stacy's mom has got it going on. Yeah, it's I bet that's not a coincidence at all.
Ooh. Are you saying that Stacy's mum is based off of Jessie's Girl?
I'm sure it's inspired by heavily.
Maybe.
And there's only so many goddamn chords in the book, so it's there. Some songs will just sound the same.
Indeed. Moving on to another regular segment. Kush's movie review.
Yeah. I wish I had some flashlights. I would have totally made it work. That would have been fun.
I should offer my services as well. Jingle singing on Fiverr. Make some money.
It sounded good.
Right.
Good.
I freestyled that. Straight from
that was good.
Head.
If that was off the top of your head, A+.
I freestyle. When I freestyle, I lose confidence. Flight of Conchords reference. If you don't know, check it out. This week, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson with another movie of his. This week it came out or last?
It came out this past Friday.
Jungle Cruise, highlighted by my favorite line from the trailer, where obviously, you're going to get into it, but obviously the whole premise is that these brother and sister, are they brother and sister?
There's yes, they are brother and sister. The blunt and anonymous British man,
which I know the name of, but I can't remember it now off the top of my head. He has a fantastic show on Netflix where he travels around the world with his dad, and his dad is not as funny and eccentric as he is. It's a very awesome show. But anyway, Jack Whitehall. There we go. Jack Whitehall.
He's good in it, for the record. We'll get into it, but he's good.
Before I unleash you, this story where obviously they're trying to hire The Rock to take them upstream or whatever it was, and where he's talking about how much money they owe him. It's something like, "Oh, it's $1,000 if I get you there alive, $1,500 if you're dead." And she's like, "Why is it more money if we're dead?" Because if you're dead, I have to carry you, which I thought was a fantastic line.
It's a well performed line in the movie as well.
Take it away.
So this movie is, everyone will be talking about Pirates of the Caribbean. Everyone talks about what they're not talking about is the African Queen. The Mummy. Excuse me. Everyone's talking about the Mummy. Everyone's talking about this and that. Anyways, the movie takes place in 1919. So that means that this movie was written in 2019 because you always got to do 100 years. And this is the time of World War I, but we don't call it World War I because we didn't know there was going to be a sequel. So this is the time of the Great War. And we are we're in the Brazilian jungle as opposed to the African jungle because that was probably just a little too controversial for Disney this year. I don't blame them. However, so Dwayne Johnson, he's a steamboat captain. He's got his ship, which doesn't have a name nearly as impressive as the African Queen. I think it's even something as silly as like La Nina. And it's like, all right, whatever. Dwayne Johnson actually runs riverboat cruises. And the first 10 minutes is actually like an homage to the actual Jungle Cruise ride at Disneyland. I don't know if you've ever been there, Mike. It's you go on the Jungle Cruise to get in the shade. The water's a little helps things cool down a little bit. Like, you don't go on Jungle Cruise because it's a fun time. You go on Jungle Cruise because you're tired of standing in line and you're trying to beat the heat for 4.5 minutes.
I refuse to go to Disneyland until they paid Scarlett Johansson their money.
That's fair.
I stand for Scarlett. Hashtag.
Anyway, Dwayne Johnson does a perfect homage, and he just starts pummeling the audience with bad puns and dad jokes. And while it was very, very quiet from the audience in my screening, I was cackling like a bastard the entire time because I like bad puns and dad jokes. And he just, like, you thought it was just going to be a rule of 3. He just kept going. Like, his like rule of 47. Probably not even an overestimate there. Like, he just keeps firing them away to the point where even the audience in the movie is just like, oh, stop all the dad jokes, Dwayne Johnson, please. You can't, you're hurting us. Anyway, Dwayne Johnson, as Dwayne Johnson does, owes some money, and that's to Paul Giamatti, who does a fantastic, like, pseudo French Portuguese accent, where he's just sunbaked the entire time, but he's wearing that illustrious, just white fedora and white suit.
You know you're evil when you're wearing a white fedora.
Mm-hmm. He should be eviler. He's kind of just a non-playable character. It's strange.
Like the mustache up here.
Yeah, he has that. He's got that in the little Colonel Sanders goatee. Yeah, they gave it to him. Anyway, like I said, The Rock owes him some money, and he impounds The Rock's steam engine, which I didn't know was a thing it could do. And
that sounds like an innuendo.
Oh,
I impounded his steam engine.
Damn, son. So one thing leads to another, and The Rock and the Blunt hook up. She thinks he's someone else entirely, but he takes the gig, and then they're off on a fantastic adventure. And then guess what, Mike? Again, like I said, this is the Great War.
Is she like, I thought you was Rikishi?
No. However, we have Germans with submarines that are involved. Jesse Plinkett plays the German whose name escapes me.
At that time in history, they weren't the nicest of people.
They were not the nicest of people. They were also not Nazis, but you can't help but just keep referring to them as Nazis. They also look like Nazis. The submarine looks like a Nazi submarine. I don't even know if they had submarines at the height of the 20th century, but let alone why one would be in the Brazilian river. But sure, why not?
Everyone needs a vacation.
Mm-hmm. He does a fantastic job. But if Paul Giamatti and Jesse Plemons being antagonists weren't enough, we also have cursed Spanish conquistadors, which might as well just be fucking pirates, guy. All right, they're both on the ship. They both enslave people. They both murder people. They both go from country to country. It's pirates. I don't care what you call it. Conquistadors, pirates. They're cursed, and it's all part of the story. And family adventure film where everyone plays their part perfectly. Goes on 30 to 35 minutes too long. This is a two-hour movie that needs to only be about 94 minutes. Honestly, we need one less antagonist. Give us not Nazis or give us cursed pirates. We just can't do both, guys. We just can't. Otherwise, The Rock and the Blunt have fantastic chemistry. I think Emily Blunt's she's trying to be an action star, and in films like Sicario, I cannot suspend my disbelief to think that she could just wrestle the guy who would end up being the Punisher, John Barenthal. There's no way she's going to wrestle John Barenthal and come out on top. It's just not happening. However, with what the stunts they do with her in this family film, I believe everything. Great time. Disney tries to pander. The brother of Emily Blunt is a homosexual who's in the closet, but him and The Rock have a little sit down, and then all of his gay stereotypes before that just magically go away, and then he can fight. He's fighting cursed pirate conquistadors, Mike, with no real difficulty, all because just him and The Rock had a man-to-man sit down, and they understand each other a little bit better. And The Rock doesn't judge because, spoiler alert, he's a 400-year-old cursed pirate conquistador also.
What? Son of a bitch. Wait, so why is he 400 years old? What's the curse?
The curse was they were trying to come to the Brazilian jungle to find basically the fountain of youth, although it's in plant form. They're looking for the tree from Avatar, man. I don't know why that has to be a thing, but it is. And something happened. They befriended the local native tribe there, but then Edgar Ramirez stabbed him in the back, and just before the headhunter, the witch doctor, the head of the tribe, who maybe all three, before his final dying breath, he placed a curse on all of them, so they could never leave the river, and if they try, they turn into stone.
Right. So, okay. So
it's not a bad movie, but it's overinflated. It's overinflated by a lot, which makes it an unenjoyable movie.
Wait. So originally, 400 years ago, or
500 years ago now.
500 years ago, The Rock was searching for the fountain of youth. So
more or less, yes.
So he could live forever, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And so his punishment was, you get to live forever. And The Rock's like, oh no.
Well, The Rock made it work. The Rock was like, all right, this is my curse. I'm going to put together this little theme park attraction on the river. I'm going to get the locals involved, and we'll all make some money off these white people. It'll be a good time.
I mean, like you say, the part of the curse was obviously he couldn't leave the area.
Mm-hmm.
But if I was trying to become a billionaire, and then someone was like, "Whoa, you greedy bastard! Your curse, I curse you with being a billionaire, but you can only stay in New Jersey." I'd be all right. I'll deal with that.
You would get very tired of being a billionaire in New Jersey after like 3 months. Honestly, you would do.
No,
it would just be Groundhog Day with money. You'd still get older, but there would be no consequences for you, Mike. The police, the police.
My curse is I'm not living forever. I'm not.
Yeah, I know, but you'd still have unlimited wealth. You'd have
I could be able to bring it to New Jersey.
You could bring to New Jersey, but again, that would get old too. Eventually,
Anyway,
you can only
the
see
point
the
I'm making-
Secaucus Air Point so often.
The point I'm making is not the great, like not. There's worse curses out there. I'm not saying it was a walk in the park, but there's worse curses in the world.
Word.
So what happens? What happens? Did they break the curse? Did
They
they find Orlando Bloom with the other coin and put it into the chest? And
They did not find Orlando Bloom.
Ah.
They kind of broke the curse while keeping the curse pirates captured in stone. However, The Rock is okay now. He's a mortal man living it up in jolly old England with Emily Blunt. And I have a feeling this is not the last adventure we've seen of them. Or at least it wouldn't be if we weren't in another situation where not only is the COVID shutting down theaters again, but this movie went on Disney Plus Premier Access for $30, and you can. Word on the street is there will be another lawsuit from the Blunt.
It's almost looking as if I don't want to speak out of line here, but it almost sounds like there may be like a trend of movie studios / Disney screwing over female actors in their contracts.
I'm pretty sure The Rock got screwed over in this too, but that dude's on a long con, so The Rock's going to be fine. But yeah, Emily Blunt might need her money too if she doesn't get paid properly. Yeah, the only movie studio that isn't so far hasn't been guilty of this has been MGM, because their only thing is James Bond, and that's still yet to come out. And Universal Studios, who just went, there's a global pandemic. We're not everything's coming out in a year, maybe, but we're not expecting anything before a year, maybe. Yeah. So, but yeah, Disney and WB both took a crap shot, and we'll see what happens.
So you think there's going to be a sequel to Jungle Cruise?
Yeah, I think they're gonna try. I think Disney will try and make it right. So again, they'll give Emily Blunt and The Rock another movie together. Like it's not a bad film. It's just long, and its length makes it less enjoyable. Again, after 94 minutes,
that's what she said.
Fuck, we're still in this. Yeah, that is what she said. Touche, friend. I wish I could give this 4 stars, 4 blueberries, but I'm gonna. A high 2, but a low 3. I'm gonna give it a low 2 or high 2. Excuse me, high 2.
High 2 waffles or blueberries, whatever.
Yeah, waffles is probably better for this show, but yes, just 2 out of 5.
But you might get your wish, because if they're based in London, The Rock and the Blunt, and they do the Thames cruise. It's a lot shorter than the Amazon, so it'll be a shorter.
Is there any weird mystical stuff that happened in London? Some
not
did like Merlin put a spell like if you move this thing from Arthur's stone or something ridiculous? Like, don't move King Arthur's crown, or you're gonna bring up cursed pirates.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
But
they could always make it up.
Yeah, be interesting. Yeah, that be like, hey, we went down the Thames and nothing happened at the end. Be a nice
What's
change of
the
pace.
story behind Thames?
It's a river.
But is it named after like Frank Thames?
I don't know. I just for alliterations, I hope it's named after someone called like Tim or
Tim Thames.
Tommy Thames.
Tom Tam.
Tommy Thames, I'm a gangster. I named the river after me because I'm a top gangster. That's my story, and I'm going with it.
All right.
R.I.P. Tommy Thames. What a guy. Shout out. I think that wraps it up nicely. What movie are you going to go see in the next 7 days, Kush?
Probably not gonna. I have no intention of seeing The Suicide Squad, which comes out this Friday.
So is that a sequel or is that just like a reboot or what the hell is that? I don't understand.
I didn't even see the first one. However, the same characters, some of the same characters and some of the same actors from that one are in this one.
Yeah, it's very confusing.
I'm hearing it's getting very good reviews. So if you like the first one, this one is supposed to be better. But I didn't even bother to see the first one. It's on HBO Max, so maybe I will just check it out in passing. But I can't guarantee we'll have a movie review next week.
I'll definitely watch it, but I just want to know where I stand. Does it follow?
I would just treat it as a brand new film, a brand new story, brand new anything. I would not worry about having to see the last one.
The DC cinematic universe is a fucking mess.
It's terrible.
I have no idea what the fuck is going on with that.
Collectively, it is a fucking nightmare.
I do like the fact that the only good thing about DC movies is even though they're also a mess a bit, but Batman movies generally are very good that come out of those. And I am kind of excited by the Flash movie because they have Michael Keaton as Bruce Wayne again, which
he's supposedly a very big part of that. Like when I had heard about that initially, I thought I was like, all right, he's gonna be a 5-minute cameo or whatever, maybe even less. But he is apparently a very big part of that production. So we'll see where that goes. That one has my attention. I'm looking forward to the Pattinson Batman. I'm looking forward to that. I think that'll be pretty good.
Batman.
Indeed.
Or was
shaking my head?
Was you going with that Batman, or was you like wagga that kind of Batman?
Well, that's Pac-Man.
He is ghosts.
That's Pac-Man. Yeah. No, I'm talking Pat-Man.
I'm gonna get you, Joker. Wagga.
Delightful.
Yeah, there we go. But yeah, good stuff. So, but no, we have, well, to be confirmed. I'm sure for our tens of listeners, you'll be glued onto our social media. We'll let you know what movie we're going to talk about. Maybe even I'll just do a movie review of Suicide Squad. Who knows?
Maybe the second episode of Music Box will give me some other crazy concert where just everyone got murdered and raped all in a 3-day span, much like Woodstock '99.
Who knows? We can only dream.
Dream big, baby. Dream big.
Okay, so yeah, see you next week. So make sure you follow us at Waffle Box Pod on all your social media platforms that matter, which means Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and not TikTok. Although actually we are technically on TikTok, but I haven't updated it for many weeks, so don't expect that to be updated anytime soon. I am, if you want to follow me, at Mr. MR, Mr. Mike Fish, and he is Kush_hey.
That's me. Check out also the microdose this Friday. We got Nicholas Evangelista coming back. He's the number one dude to the number one dude on the number one primetime show on NBC, Law and Order SVU, and we talk a little bit about the upcoming 23rd season.
And also this Friday.
Friday.
Because she's
the 22nd anniversary of Cush's 21st birthday.
If you do want to join that, I'll probably be in the chat with the official Waffle Box Pod Twitch account, which still we haven't done anything with yet, but that's what I'll be commenting under. So if you do want to follow that, again, I'll put all the links out to that on the Waffle Box Twitter page and all that good stuff. So join us in the chat for Kush's birthday. Is it actually your birthday on Friday, or is it?
Yes.
Oh, there you go. So I'll be there.
That's the actual day.
We'll all be there. Join us there.
We couldn't do anything last year. Might as well make something big of it this year.
Yeah, because during the pandemic last year, it was very hard to do Twitch streams.
I didn't know these guys to that extent, and I couldn't be in the same room with them.
That is also another hard. Yeah, it's very hard to do things with people that you don't know exist. That is also a stumbling block in the planning. But there you go. But until then, of course, as always, not stolen from Jerry Springer. I made it up myself. Take care of yourself and each other.